instant coffee. Is it a time-saving hero or a far cry from the real thing? Whatever your opinion, here's the twist you didn't see coming. This everyday convenience is the result of cutting-edge technology, precision engineering, and processes that are nothing short of amazing. If you've underestimated instant coffee, buckle up, because the way it's made will blow your mind. Coffee beans. The magical little nuggets that fuel millions of mornings. But for instant coffee, not just any bean will do. Typically, Robusta beans take center stage. Their intense flavor and higher caffeine content make them ideal for this process. Plus, they're tough and resilient, able to handle diverse growing conditions, all while easier on the wallet. Cheaper? Yes. Lower quality? Not necessarily. Once the Robusta beans are hand-picked or machine harvested, the life of an instant coffee bean officially begins. The first stop? Roasting. Here, the beans are heated to temperatures around 300 degrees Fahrenheit, 150 degrees Celsius, or more. But there's a twist. Unlike traditional coffee roasts that aim for complex flavors, beans destined for instant coffee are roasted slightly shorter and cooler. Why? To preserve moisture and retain the solubility that the next steps demand. After roasting, it's grind time. The beans are pulverized into coarse particles resembling chunky sea salt. Why coarse? Fine grinding might be better for espresso, but for instant coffee, those bigger particles are key for efficient industrial brewing. Think of it as setting everything up for maximum extraction. These coarsely ground beans are now ready for their industrial debut. When you think of brewing, you probably imagine a cozy kitchen and an aromatic pot of coffee. Now, multiply that by several thousand. Industrial brewing isn't just coffee on steroids. It's a whole different beast. Here's what happens. The ground coffee works its way into towering stainless steel columns, often reaching as high as a 5-story building. These aren't your average coffee pots. Inside, softened water flows through a tightly controlled series of columns containing the ground beans. The first stage begins in what's called the hot zone. Here, water heats up to 284 to 356 degrees Fahrenheit, 140 to 180 degrees Celsius, and is pumped under high pressure through the columns. These extreme conditions dissolve tough components like carbohydrates and proteins. This step lays down the foundational body of the coffee extract. Once the basics are extracted, the water moves into cooler columns, the cold zone, where it works its magic on the beans' more delicate flavors and aromas. This slower, gentler process pulls out the nuanced compounds that give coffee its signature complexity. By the time this process wraps up, the liquid leaving these columns isn't just brewed coffee. It's a highly concentrated extract with around 20 to 30% solids. And if you think the process leaves behind ordinary leftovers, think again. Even spent coffee grounds from this industrial brew are optimized. Many factories recycle them as biofuel to generate heat. Efficient and surprisingly sustainable. Now, picture this liquid coffee extract. It's rich, flavorful, and packed with caffeine. But to transform it into the instant coffee we're familiar with, it must be concentrated further to a dense, robust syrup. Here's where coffee production becomes even more of a science. One common technique: evaporation. the extract is heated gently in specialized tanks where water is slowly removed. Think of it like summer rain evaporating from a hot sidewalk. Only here, the focus is on keeping all the coffee's goodness intact while shedding what's unnecessary. For more precision, some manufacturers lean on freezing techniques. The extract is chilled until water crystals form. These are then separated using a centrifuge, essentially a spinning device that divides coffee concentrate from the ice. What's left is a liquid that's more coffee than water, in the best way possible. And if you're thinking this syrup is already intense, you'd be right. At this stage, the extract is almost ready to become that powdery magic you scoop into your cup. But don't get too comfortable, because the most fascinating steps are yet to come. Here's where we move from liquid to powder, and trust me, the science here is impressive. To make instant coffee shelf-stable and easy to use, manufacturers must dry the concentrated coffee extract. But how do you remove water without losing all the flavor? Enter two ingenious methods with very different approaches. Spray drying. Think of spray drying as the speedster of the two. First, the liquid coffee extract is blasted into a towering drying chamber as a fine mist. Imagine thousands of tiny droplets swirling in the air, exposed to a powerful current of hot air at about 480 degrees Fahrenheit, 250 degrees Celsius. This heat flash evaporates the water in seconds, and what's left behind is a fine powder that collects at the bottom of the chamber. Spray drying is fast, efficient, and great for producing large quantities of instant coffee granules. However, there is a trade-off. The high heat can dampen some of the subtle flavors found in coffee, resulting in a less nuanced taste. Still, for the sheer scale of production and its cost-effectiveness, this method gets the job done. Freeze drying. Now for the luxury option. Freeze drying swaps intense heat for chilling cold. The coffee extract is frozen at a frosty -40 degrees Fahrenheit, -40 degrees Celsius, to create a hard coffee slush. Next, that slush is broken into smaller chunks and placed into vacuum drying chambers. Here's the magic moment. Under the vacuum's low pressure conditions, the ice crystals in the chunks sublimate. This means they turn directly from solid ice to vapor without becoming liquid. What's left behind are granules that retain more of the coffee's original flavor and aroma. This method is slower and pricier, but yields a more premium product. Freeze drying is the coffee equivalent of slow cooking a gourmet dish. It's not about speed, but about quality. Have you noticed that unmistakable burst of aroma when you open a fresh jar of instant coffee? That's no accident. Instant coffee manufacturers put a lot of thought into aroma, and they've developed a clever solution to make it just right. During roasting and brewing, many of coffee's volatile aromatic compounds escape. These compounds are what give brewed coffee its rich, complex scent. Instead of letting those aromas dissipate into thin air, factories capture and store them for later. Yes, even the steam wafting off the roasted beans is carefully collected and preserved. Once the drying process is complete, it's time for these aromatic compounds to make a comeback. The dry coffee granules are sprayed with the captured aromatics to give them that just brewed smell. This step is known as aromization, and it's a masterclass in marketing science. That whiff of coffee goodness when you pop the lid? It primes your brain to expect freshness before you even boil the kettle. Now that the coffee granules are ready, it's time to pack them up. But packaging instant coffee isn't as simple as tossing it in a jar. These granules are extremely sensitive to moisture and oxygen, which can clump them up or dull their flavor. This is where precision machinery comes into play. Picture endless rolls of jars or pouches whizzing along high-speed conveyor belts. Each jar enters a specialized filling station where it's layered with granules under carefully controlled conditions. To protect the coffee, the air inside the jar or pouch is often replaced with nitrogen or carbon dioxide to create a low oxygen environment. It's like putting the coffee to sleep in a cozy, airtight bed until you wake it up in your kitchen. And it's not just what's inside that counts. Airtight caps and resealable pouches ensure the coffee stays fresh even after it's opened. This process happens at lightning-fast speeds, combining efficiency with flawless accuracy. One misstep could spell disaster for an entire batch. And when you're talking millions of jars produced daily, precision isn't just a goal, it's a requirement. Instant coffee doesn't just stay local. It has a passport and a global reach that rivals some of the most iconic products. Once packaged and sealed, these coffee granules are shipped across continents, ready to land in office break rooms, kitchen cupboards, and even remote outposts. Here's a staggering fact to put things into perspective. Over 1/3 of all coffee consumed worldwide is instant coffee. Countries like Australia, Russia, and parts of Asia are especially fond of it. Why? Convenience. You get a steaming mug of coffee in under a minute without the fuss of brewing. And instant coffee isn't just about convenience anymore. Many premium brands now produce high-quality freeze-dried varieties that rival freshly brewed options. They've cracked the code to offer a product that's quick, flavorful, and long-lasting. From its humble beginnings as a military staple to its modern-day status as a kitchen essential, instant coffee has come a long way. It's not just a beverage, it's a testament to how far technology and ingenuity have pushed the boundaries of food production. And there you have it. The next time you scoop those granules into your mug, remember the incredible innovation and machinery that work behind the scenes. From drying towers to vacuum chambers, every step is a symphony of production and skill. Instant coffee might be quick, but its production is a masterpiece of industrial engineering. Until next time, keep sipping and keep learning.